Forget superheroes. Forget comic books and CGI effects. Because right now, on this planet, there are creatures with abilities so extreme, so impossible that if you saw them in a movie, you'd call them unrealistic. We're talking about animals that can survive in the vacuum of space. Animals that break their own bones and use them as weapons. Animals that literally cannot die of old age. This isn't science fiction. This is evolution at its most creative, its most brutal, its most beautiful. These are 5 animals with real superpowers, and once you see what they can do, you'll never look at nature the same way again. First up, we have a creature that sounds made up. The tardigrade, also known as the water bear. And it's about 0.5 millimeter long, microscopic. You could fit dozens on the head of a pin. But don't let the size fool you. This thing is the most indestructible animal on Earth, possibly in the universe. Let me give you some numbers. Tardigrades can survive temperatures from -328 degrees Fahrenheit to +300 degrees. They can withstand pressure 6 times greater than the deepest ocean trench. They can endure radiation levels that would kill a human in seconds. And here's the kicker. They can survive in the vacuum of space. No spacesuit, no air, no protection, just a tiny, 8-legged creature floating in the void. And not just survive. Thrive. Scientists have sent them to space multiple times and they come back fine. How? The secret is something called cryptobiosis. When conditions get extreme, the tardigrade essentially shuts down. It squeezes all the water out of its body, retracts its head and limbs, rolls into a tiny ball, and enters a state of suspended animation. It's not alive. It's not dead. It's somewhere in between. And it can stay like that for decades. There are reports of tardigrades reviving after more than 30 years without food or water. But wait, there's more. Tardigrades have a protein called DSUP, damage suppressor protein. It wraps around their DNA like a protective shield, preventing radiation from destroying their genetic code. This isn't just survival. This is biological engineering at a level we can barely comprehend. The tardigrade isn't just tough. It's proof that life can exist in conditions we thought were impossible. Now, let's talk about something that sounds like it crawled out of a horror movie. The hairy frog, also called the Wolverine frog, and once you hear what it does, you'll understand why. This frog lives in Central Africa. It's about 4 to 5 inches long. Males grow weird hair-like projections on their sides during mating season. Already strange. But that's not the superpower. The superpower is this. When threatened, the hairy frog breaks its own bones, on purpose, and uses them as claws. Let me say that again. It breaks bones in its toes, pushes them through its skin, and turns them into weapons. Not keratin like cat claws, not retractable claws like Wolverine in the comics. Actual bone. Sharp, jagged, and piercing through flesh. Scientists still don't fully understand the mechanism. They think the frog has to actively break the bone each time. Some researchers believe it can regenerate the tissue afterward to heal the wound. But imagine the pain. Imagine the desperation. This isn't a convenient defense mechanism. This is, I will hurt myself to hurt you. And it works. Predators think twice when a frog suddenly sprouts bone knives from its feet. The hairy frog is a reminder that evolution doesn't care about comfort. It cares about results, and sometimes the result is horrifying. Next, we have an animal that has solved the ultimate problem. Death. Meet Turritopsis dohrnii. The immortal jellyfish. And it's not a metaphor. It's not an exaggeration. This jellyfish can literally live forever. Here's how it works. Most animals grow up, reproduce, age, and die. That's the cycle. Birth to death. One direction. The immortal jellyfish said, "What if I just didn't?" When this jellyfish reaches the end of its adult life, or when it's injured or stressed, it can revert back to its juvenile form. It transforms from a mature, sexually reproducing adult back into a polyp, a baby, and then it grows up again, and it can do this over and over, indefinitely. It's like if you could age backward whenever you wanted. Hit 80 years old, feeling rough, and just reset to 20. Then live your life again, forever. Now, the immortal jellyfish can still be killed. Predators can eat it. Disease can infect it. But it will never die of old age. It will never run out of time. Scientists are studying this jellyfish intensely because understanding how it reverses aging could unlock secrets about human longevity, maybe even immortality. But here's the thing. The immortal jellyfish isn't rare. It's spreading. Originally found in the Mediterranean, it's now appearing in oceans worldwide. There could be millions of them, billions, all technically immortal, all quietly rewriting the rules of life and death. The immortal jellyfish is proof that aging isn't inevitable. It's just a biological program, and programs can be rewritten. Now, let's talk about an animal that dies every winter and comes back to life every spring. The wood frog lives in some of the coldest regions of North America, Alaska, northern Canada. It's the only frog that lives north of the Arctic Circle, and when winter comes, the wood frog does something extraordinary. It freezes, solid, not partially, not just slowing down. I'm talking 65 to 70% of its body turns to ice. Its heart stops beating. Its lungs stop breathing. Ice crystals form throughout its body. By every measurable definition, it's dead. But here's the twist. When spring arrives and temperatures rise, the wood frog thaws, and it comes back to life. How does it do this without dying? Two things. First, it floods its cells with glucose, massive amounts of sugar that act as natural antifreeze. This prevents ice from forming inside the cells, which would destroy them. Instead, ice forms between the cells, which is survivable. Second, it enters a state of suspended animation. No heartbeat, no brain activity, no metabolism. It's biologically paused. And when the ice melts, everything restarts. Heart, lungs, brain. The frog hops away like nothing happened. The wood frog essentially dies and resurrects itself every single year. It's the closest thing in nature to true resurrection. Scientists are studying the wood frog because if we can understand how it survives freezing, we might be able to preserve human organs for transplant, or even develop cryogenic technology that actually works. The wood frog is proof that death isn't always permanent. Sometimes it's just a pause button. Finally, we have an animal that does something that sounds like magic. The mimic octopus can shapeshift. Not just change color like other octopuses, it changes shape, texture, behavior. It transforms into completely different animals, and it does it in seconds. The mimic octopus lives in the shallow waters of Indonesia. It was only discovered in 1998, which is insane. We found this thing less than 30 years ago, and what it can do is unprecedented. When threatened by a predator, the mimic octopus doesn't just hide. It doesn't just flee. It becomes something else. If a damselfish approaches, the octopus transforms into a sea snake. It darkens its body, hides 6 of its arms, and moves in a slithering, serpentine pattern. The fish thinks it's looking at a venomous snake and backs off. If a different predator shows up, the octopus might mimic a lionfish. It spreads its arms wide, flares its body, and mimics the toxic spines of one of the ocean's most dangerous fish. Or it might flatten itself and glide across the ocean floor, impersonating a flatfish. Or bunch up its arms to look like a jellyfish. It's not random. The mimic octopus chooses which animal to imitate based on the threat. That requires intelligence, strategy, understanding. Scientists have documented at least 15 different animals that the mimic octopus can impersonate, and it's probably capable of more. This is shapeshifting, real, functional, survival-based shapeshifting, and it's happening right now in the oceans of Southeast Asia. The mimic octopus is proof that intelligence and adaptation can be just as powerful as size or strength. So there you have it. 5 animals with real superpowers. The tardigrade surviving the vacuum of space, the hairy frog breaking its own bones as weapons, the immortal jellyfish reversing aging and cheating death, the wood frog freezing solid and coming back to life, the mimic octopus shapeshifting into different creatures at will. These aren't myths. These aren't legends. These are real animals living on Earth right now, doing things that should be impossible. And here's what gets me. We're still discovering new species every year, new abilities, new superpowers. The natural world is stranger, more creative, and more extreme than any comic book. and we're only beginning to understand it. So the next time you think nature is predictable, remember the tardigrade floating in space, remember the frog with bone claws, remember the jellyfish that never dies. Because evolution doesn't play by our rules, it writes its own, and the results are nothing short of miraculous. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more animals with impossible abilities, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe, because nature's got plenty more superpowers to show you.